Imagine trying to meet a friend in an ancient village. You don't say after lunch or when the sun is halfway down. You tell them to meet you at exactly 5:30 p.m. In a world before clocks, that instruction is completely unintelligible. Nobody can do 5:30 p.m. It is not a feature of the sky or a natural event you can witness together. It is a label generated by a highly specific system of public bookkeeping. We usually don't think of it that way. We naturally speak of time as if it were a physical actor. We say time flows. We say it heals wounds. We watch it destroy empires. We assume time is an actual ingredient of the cosmos. But we are confusing an invented measurement tool with the literal fabric of the universe. To figure out what the universe actually is, we have to practice some metaphor hygiene. We need to systematically demolish the three biggest illusions we hold about time. The first illusion is the easiest to fall for. We watch bread bake, our bodies age, and seasons turn. Because we observe things changing, we assume time and change are the exact same thing. Look at this gathering at Stonehenge. Long before anyone engineered a standardized clock, societies lived in a world saturated with change. They coordinated perfectly using repeatable physical markers, like sunrise or the summer solstice. The regularities of the universe, the rotations, the oscillations, the decay, are already there. Humans invent the grid of measurement we lay over them to track those patterns. Time isn't the change itself. The concept of time only expands when humanity needs to measure, compare, and synchronize more complex processes. The second illusion treats time as an arena. We imagine a container that we move through, where the past is physically behind us and the future is waiting somewhere ahead. This habit comes from mapping sequences of events onto space. We look at calendars and timelines, and we start to picture the present as a moving point that slides along a track. But now isn't a bead sliding down a string. It is an indexical standpoint, exactly like the word here. Just as here designates where you are standing, now simply designates when you are observing, relative to a shared ledger. Treating time as a physical stage manufactures nonsensical questions, like asking where the past is located. The stage is a cognitive convenience, not a reality. The third illusion is the hardest to shake. It's the deeply ingrained feeling that time flows like a fluid medium or substance. But if time flows, what does it flow against? Change only makes sense relative to an external parameter. To measure the speed of time flowing, you would have to invent a second meta-time to compare it to. The logic eats itself. So if time isn't change, isn't a stage, and isn't a flowing substance, what is it? It is the ledger of change. This is an accounting system. We build it by taking standard, repeatable cycles, like the swing of a pendulum or the oscillation of quartz, and using them to make completely separate rates of change directly comparable. Humanity invents the ledger and the rules to synchronize it. The universe simply supplies the raw physical material of change. This brings us to a framework called Changism. Reality is not a collection of things that happen to change in time. Reality is change itself. This redefines how we understand the past. The past isn't a place you can visit. It is a role. It exists right now solely as recorded constraints, physical wear, and traces left behind in the present. The future, meanwhile, isn't a pre-existing destination waiting for you to arrive. It is simply the role of open potential, conditionally shaped by the dynamics happening today. The present is not a moving spotlight. It is the active coastline of interaction, the exact point where physical processes meet, couple, and exchange marks. We do not live inside a container called time. We live entirely in change. The universe is a boundless performance of structured becoming. Our clocks are simply the tickets we printed to keep track of the show.